Our great viewer, I'm Marion Richard, your host for today's show, Truth of Law, whereby we'll be discussing more of rights of arrested persons and the process through which a person should go from the time of filing a case in a court of law till the time he or she is found guilty. And keep in touch. Let your reactions and feedback come through. In my social media handles, you can reach me in Marion Richard, that is in Facebook, and also in IG, Marion Richard 21, and also for those who are following us through YouTube, that is Riverside TV Kenya, you can stream in your reactions as you continue the show. Welcome. And with me, I have my guest.
Sarah Abuto, a lawyer at Mark & Partners. And I'm pleased and happy to be here. Thank you.
Now, in Kenya, I would like to know that how many, many people have come across issues of legal issues that need lawyers, and they don't have that money to have access to lawyers. Is there any law firm that people or someone can go and have their cases be assisted through the whole process?
Yes, most times now in Kenya, the interesting thing is this. In most courts, you actually find advocates who are willing to assist, especially in small matters, and if you brief them. At pro bono, various law firms, many law firms provide pro bono, depending on the nature of your case. And like at our law firm, which is Mark & Partners, there are a couple of cases we've handled that are pro bono. We don't charge, we'll do the filing and all that, and maybe a few costs here and there, but it shouldn't be as pricey as if you were to foot the whole cost by yourself.
Okay. How can one know that he or she is dealing with a competent lawyer, not just a fraud?
Many times that happens, sadly speaking,
Okay.
but there's the LSK, the Law Society of Kenya, that provides a website where you can search the advocate's number, because every advocate, once admitted to the bar, they have a number that is given to them. Now that number is what you can search and find out how many years this person has been in practice and whether they are a competent lawyer. Yes.
And now, what is the difference between criminal and civil cases?
The difference between criminal and civil cases is, well, in criminal, it is normally the state that is against you. So it would be republic versus, because you have infringed on a right of someone's right, you have gone against what is stated in our constitution, under the Bill of Rights. But in civil, it is between two private persons. You see, the republic is a public person.
Okay.
So the public person against you, who has gone against the rules and regulations, because this is a society that is governed by rules and regulations. That's why we have a government.
What are the rights of an arrested person, and which processes do that person, the accused person, go through from the time of arrest till the time that he or she is found guilty in the court of law?
So I'm going to break down those questions because
Okay.
those are two huge questions.
Okay.
The rights of an arrested person are normally, one has the right to a fair hearing. They have a right to a fair hearing. They have the right, when they speak, to speak or not to speak. You see, when one is being arrested, you are told anything you say can and will be used against you. That is actually a right. You have to be told that. You have the right to even be silent. And then you have the right not to self-incriminate. So if you were to make a statement that would incriminate you, you actually have a right to be silent and not to proceed to say anything. Those are normally the rights. They are normally provided for under Article 49 and 50 of the Kenyan Constitution.
Okay.
Yes.
And now the processes till the time of arrest till judgment time.
Let's start them as a story.
Okay.
So the process.
Yeah.
You've been caught infringing against someone's right. You've been caught going against someone's what has been allocated to them. And this person reports, you've taken life. We start from a minor. You asked me about minor and major.
Okay, let's first do with the major.
Okay, the major ones.
Yeah.
So you've been arrested. There is robbery with violence or murder. Those are the major ones in our country that actually, when one is found committing those, you're sentenced to life. But there's never been a conviction of death.
Okay.
In a couple of years since the 80s.
Yeah.
But when we look at that, you are arrested, you are actually taken to court after they arrest you, they put you in a cell, and then awaiting. Normally, as per the constitution, you're supposed to spend about 24 hours. So between when you are arrested to when you are taken before a court, it's about 24 hours. You need to know what you are arrested about, like what has caused you to be arrested. Then after you've been told, you go to court, and the first thing the judge will tell you, or magistrate, depending on which court you appear, they will tell you, you are caught doing this and this. And do you plead guilty or not guilty? Now you can make a plea of guilt or non-guilt. So after that, the trial process can begin. If you say you're guilty and it's a big crime, let's say like robbery with violence that has a sentence to death, they will check you for your mental, if you're mentally stable. Now they do a mental assessment because normally, actually the court is aware that normally most people would say not guilty, I didn't. But if you plead guilty, especially for something that can take away your life, they will evaluate if you're mentally competent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then after that, if you're found to be mentally incompetent, you'll be taken to, let's say, a mental facility to serve. You may serve your term or sentence there. But if they evaluate you and find that you're mentally capable, they will take you you'll be returned back to court, and then the proceedings, they will either have you charged, you'll be sentenced, or if you're found as not guilty, you plead not guilty, the trial process will begin. So that involves people presenting their case, the prosecutor presenting why, their witnesses. Thereafter, the court will come to a conclusion.
Okay. But under which circumstances mtu anaweza shikwa without a warrant?
Normally in Kenya, one is arrested without a warranty. A warrant is issued when someone skips. Like if they skip bail or bond, instead of coming, let's say you were released on bond, and then you didn't show up. Now that's when the court issues a warrant of arrest.
Okay.
Yes, normally that's when in Kenya they issue a warrant of arrest.
And okay, so even let's say for example, at times you will see someone maybe breaking road rules.
Yes.
So even under such circumstances, you don't need a warrant. You just be taken straight to court.
Yes. Enough times you see even in Kenya. Let's use this the example of traffic NTC. If you're caught on the road, you are arrested. And there's a time when people are being caught, especially during the holiday season. So they would have mobile courts.
Okay.
But you see, it's without a warrant. You were caught breaking the law. What do? They know they have the power to arrest you. So they don't need a warrant.
Okay.
So they catch you. You're either taken into a cell, and then you're given, within 24 hours, you're supposed to be arraigned before court. You're supposed to be taken to court. Now, if you're caught on Friday, on Saturday, the court officials will not come to court because of you. So it is up to Monday. So it's normally between 24 hours. Let's say if you're caught on Thursday, by Friday you must be had. Your case is presented.
Yeah.
But if it's on Friday, until Monday.
Okay, at times when you're in a court of law, you'll hear a lawyer saying, my client didn't do murder. He or she did manslaughter. What's the difference?
Now, the difference between that, let me use a story.
Okay.
Because most times people say, wakili wako na uongo. Lawyers are liars. We've heard that statement before. Now, when we as advocates go before court and say this person is guilty of manslaughter, let me give you a story.
Okay.
Now, someone finds someone assaulting their mom.
Yeah.
they take a remote and hit that person at the back of the head with the remote. God, unluckily, this person dies. Now, that person have they not taken life?
They have.
That is murder.
Yeah.
But in court, that is not murder. Because they didn't come into that house with the intention of taking this person's life. They found this person in the action of assaulting someone they loved.
Yeah.
And therefore, by hitting that person with the remote at the back of the head, they will cause the death, yes. But they did not have the mischief, they did not go with the idea of, I'm going to kill so and so. So that is where, when you go to court, you say this person has committed manslaughter, because there was no intent to commit that crime initially in the back of their mind. They were not, I am going to kill so and so.
Yeah.
It hasn't been thought out, planned, arranged, and they had organized. No.
Yeah.
So it happens like that. There's even accident. When an accident happens, this person has taken away life.
Yeah.
But it's called vehicular manslaughter. It is not murder.
So okay, when I went to court,
Yes.
During proceedings,
Mhm.
a judge will order
Yes.
that the accused be taken to a mental facility for a checkup or for health checkup.
Yes.
Now, under which, how does it vary? Like, how does the judge determine or say this person should go for a checkup and this other one, let's continue the proceeding?
Okay. Most times it depends on the degree of the crime you've committed.
Yeah.
Like, as I said earlier, murder, robbery with violence, there is a way. Taking human life isn't taken lightly.
Yeah.
And half the time, they have to check if you're mentally okay.
Yeah.
Because not a normal person, we don't walk outside the door and kill people because we have everyone has the ability to take away life.
Yeah.
But it's something in your head must have said. So they have to check you on that. Ukiiba kuku, you will not be checked for your mental state of mind.
Yeah.
The court will just sit and the proceedings will proceed.
Yeah.
Yes. So it depends on the intensity, like what you've committed, and also how you act in the court. Someone can act in a hostile manner in court, and then they're like, this person needs to be checked.
Okay.
And just how you act in court, and also depending on the kind of crime you have committed.
Yeah. Okay. Before a final judgment is passed on,
Mm-hmm.
mostly, many of the cases is not the judgment judgment is not put forward, or the judge does not give judgment or that specific during that specific hearing, and so someone is taken to a remand. Now, what is a remand? Because many people have heard of remand and they don't know what a remand is.
Okay. Most times,
Yeah.
when the case is still ongoing,
Yeah.
you'll be taken to remand because they want the ease of access, and sometimes if you're unable to raise bail.
Yeah.
So they keep you awake the guys who've been sentenced already, because case yako, you're innocent until proven guilty. So unaekwa remand as they go through the case and as they find witnesses and all that. Sometimes even they can deny you bail based on the fact that they know you will interfere with evidence, you will interfere with the witnesses. But while in remand, you are also given access to the evidence, in that you're told this is what has been found against you.
Okay.
This is what people are alleging you have done. Now, by the time you go to court, you're already aware. And now when you stand on dock, you know, this is what I'm being accused of.
Okay.
And these are the evidence that have come forth against me. Now, how do I? Because you're also given a chance to speak.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And at times you'll see people they're from remand and they've been taken to court.
Mm-hmm.
They'll tell the judge that I was deprived of my rights when I was in a remand. So what are some of the rights that a person in remand should have or should, yeah?
Basic human dignity. These are normal rights, but now their rights have been curtailed because of the crime that they've been accused of. So they can't have the right to move about. Hawezi ingia ukitoka remand kwa venye ungependa. Like it's your home. You don't have that right anymore because there's a case ongoing against you. But there are normally such cases, the court tries to have them sorted out with the prison's body, because most of those issues are not in normal society. This is prison is the one that the prisons authority are the ones that run these places kwa kufunga mahabusu na pia kwa kufunga people who've been jailed. You see?
Yeah.
So there's a difference.
Yeah. And why is it some people will be taken to jail well they have not been given their final judgment and it's a remand?
Because most of the times the evidence points towards them being guilty.
Okay.
Clearly, and some of the times that is normally a very tricky issue, but their proceedings are about to end. It has already been concluded that they are heading in that direction, and also to decongest the remand centers, because you find there are a lot of cases ongoing at once.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, many a times you'll find a judge like telling or passing this his or her judgment, or saying that releasing bail or releasing a bond. What's the difference between a bond and a bail?
The difference between a bond and a bail, a bond is more to do with property and the likes. You can have property, say this property, this and this and this, is to be used as a security, as an assurity that so and so akiitwa hii siku anaapia. Now if they do not show up, the court has a security in that tuko na hii shamba yenu, we have the right to take possession of it. While a bail is in terms of money. Now you're told post bail, like it could be said so and so until this date and date they are to produce a bail of 100,000 ndio watoke. Now if you do not have that money, you stay in remand, unakaa uko ndani. But if you do have that money is used as a security, so that if you abscond, if you don't show up, they will take that money. But still, a warrant of arrest shall be issued against you.
Okay.
Yes.
And so, wow, we are taking it a lot, and I'm taking it a lot. Like, I'm learning a lot from this program, and I hope you are also learning. And if you have any question, just send us to our social media handles. You can reach me in my social media handle: Facebook, Marion Richard; Instagram, Marion Richard 21. And also for those who are watching us through the YouTube, you can also drop your question. In YouTube, you can reach us in Riverside TV Kenya. And when you post those questions, we'll answer them appropriately. So let's go for a short commercial break and we'll be right back.
RTV sasa tumeanza kupiga picha za video kwenye harusi, mazishi na sherehe zinginezo. Utupigie simu moja kwa moja na utawapata professional cameramen and women, MC na video editors. RTV, inspiring and refreshing.
Have you been searching for an opportunity to air your preaching, business, interviews, live recording? Welcome to Riverside TV. We are a faith-based TV station in Nairobi. Our rates are friendly and affordable. For inquiries, call 0707 126 050 or 0724 355 908. Book your slot now.
our show, and I hope umekunywa maji, umetosheka, and then now you're back and you want to learn more. Now I've been reading your views, your comments, and I see my Facebook page is my Facebook account is blowing up, and I have a question. Imeulizwa na Lucy from Ote from Kitengela. She's asking that now at times you've gone to a police station, written an OB, and the police are not taking any action to assist you. So what should I do? So Sarah, can you assist Lucy?
Well, when dealing with the police, enough times there's normally a hierarchy, a chain of command. So if you're not assisted at the front desk, there's most likely someone who will assist you. By the time you consider legal, going to court or whatever, or normally it's not even tried in court. By the time you're considering the legal approach, there is always a hierarchy. You know, like there's a foot soldier, then there is a commander, and that like that. So when dealing with that, it is most advisable to have it dealt, especially by the police themselves. So if someone hapo mbele hakusaidii, there's someone who is seated in a higher authority who can assist you, especially if you find an issue with that. That's when there's IPOA to assist with such matters. Yeah.
So Lucy, I hope you umesaidika, and keep your reactions coming in my social media handle, Facebook account, which is Marion Richard, and also in my IG, Marion Richard, and also for those who are watching us through the YouTube, Riverside TV Kenya. Keep those reactions flowing, and God will bless you, and let's continue with the show. So at times you're in a court during a proceeding, and you hear a judge saying, I've given out a court order. Now, court order, and it's a court order.
Court order would be with regard to, you see, then maybe they want you to stop doing something, or it normally happens more so with civil cases. Yeah. The court does orders of the court, while in criminal cases it does more of judgments, and they give a sentencing as per what the issue is. I remember we discussed during the break about the difference between a ruling and a judgment, and we said we'd tackle it here. So you can ask your question.
So now, in ruling and judgment, how does it come along?
So a ruling and a judgment, the difference is that when dealing with, let's say, a judgment is when the judge makes a final decision on that particular case, on that particular issue. But a ruling is normally on a point of law. So let's say there was a question that was raised because of that particular case. The judge may issue a ruling which gives his own view on the point of law, of the legality of whatever has happened.
Okay.
So it varies. That one is on a point of law, while a judgment is more so with the case.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And during a judgment, many times I have come across people or relatives at times that they say, I serve my sentence outside the jail, and for such a judgment to come, ama ndio judge aseme such a verdict. What is the reason behind that?
For the reason normally is when the advocate maybe has argued health issues. You see, for some people, they are not healthy enough to even go to jail, or they are old. Now you lock someone who's old, they're in their 70s. But it depends upon the crime that they've also committed. And you lock them for 10 or 5 years. Instead of having them serve it inside, they would rather spend it. Maybe just you curtail some rights. You stop some rights from, like maybe they can't go out so as freely, they can't travel outside this locality, but they serve it at home.
Okay. And so at times, if a person out there maybe is disabled, can he or she have his or her judgment, or her continue with his or her statement outside the jail?
That is dependent upon the discretion of the court. They can decide that. depending on the kind of crime that person has committed.
So
It is
also a disabled can also go to jail, or it depends with the how like the disability itself.
normally, yes, yes. There was a judge who ever said there's a convict who had been taken ametoka remand, mahabusu.
Yeah.
So for her, this person came and they convinced the court, I can't hear. So alafu another one alisoma rights zake nini, aka pretend ako both deaf and blind. Sa judge akamwonea huruma akasema this person, because of this and this, they will serve a light sentence. Lo and behold, after apatiane hiyo sentence imepeanwa, huyo mtu akafungua macho. Alikuwa amejifanyisha hiyo period yote haezi ona.
And kwani he hadn't gone for a check-up, or they just thought this guy.
There are people that can act it well.
Okay.
But hey,
Yeah.
so unaona with that,
Yeah.
there's the court will most likely check kabisa.
Yeah. Okay.
By the time they even give a lesser sentence because of that,
Oh.
it's something that they need to have checked properly.
Oh.
Because the people use that to for the humanity, they appeal to the humanity of the judge without when them themselves are pretending, that is it. They're presenting a false picture.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Many people have gone through, maybe they've done cases in court and their judgment is passed, but they are not satisfied and they need to do an appeal. How do they go about it?
Okay, so for an appeal, sometimes it can be issued by magistrate court to a higher court on a point of law.
Yeah.
But then, enough times, your advocate can begin those proceedings. They can be like, sijatosheka na hii hukumu,
Yeah.
and it could be argued on the basis on the fact that, one, they noticed that those proceedings were based on non-important issues. Like, we focused more on the things that were not of importance instead of the real issues. And sometimes it could be also because you feel the sentence is very heavy. You know, it could be very long. You're feeling, this is too much. Yes.
Okay.
And other times it could be the ruling on the principles, like it doesn't follow the legal principles.
Oh.
So you've noticed that this sentencing is against legal principles. Now that one your advocate will note and be like, we can appeal on this.
Okay.
Yes, but normally, you know, as mwananchi without an understanding of law, it is very hard to know when you can appeal.
Yeah.
And that's why you need an advocate to assist you on that. Because they can notice, legal principles here have not been followed.
Yeah.
We need to appeal.
Okay. Oh, and now during maybe a proceeding that is continuing in a court of law,
Yeah.
what are some of the things that may jeopardize the final judgment during a proceeding?
If due process isn't followed, sometimes you can find the advocate may claim that a parade wasn't conducted. A parade is where if several people you bring several people. In Kenya, it's not normally conducted. And then the witness identifies it is so and so. In Kenya, it's not conducted. We've only seen them mainly in movies.
Yeah.
Where they say, it is so and so.
Yeah.
But in Kenya, normally it's not conducted. But now, an advocate can argue that due process hasn't been followed.
Oh.
And that's when, as you've asked.
Okay. Some of the witnesses, some of the cases have very heavy witnesses, like very important witnesses, but these witnesses fail to come out and witness in court of law for the fear of their lives and the fear of their families and such. And so, in Kenya, do we have a witness protection that help?
We have the Witness Protection Act of 2006. But its implementation has been very tricky because it would mean to change one's identity.
Yeah.
It would mean also to change where one stays. That is very hard in Kenya.
Okay.
Yes.
So, like at the moment, the witness protection in Kenya, it's close to zero.
Yes. But I'm sure there are plans to make it effective.
Okay.
But as at now, not yet.
Let me ask these final questions as we wrap it up.
Yeah.
For the minor like the children, do they follow the very same process of the major, or what are the differences?
In as much as they are children, they are a child by the time they are 8 years, they know when they are committing a wrong, and so they are to be punished from that point onwards. If they are considered to have committed a crime, they ought to be dealt with appropriately, but in light of the fact that they are children and they are minors.
So Sarah, tell us your final words as we wind up.
I am honored to be of service. Yes, there are Christian lawyers in the practice, and we are available. I serve and work at Market Partners, which is located at Kasneb Towers, 8th floor. You can come and visit our offices from Monday to Friday between 9 to 4 p.m. And you can also reach me on my line 011-530-3352 should you need any assistance.
So thank you for tuning in, and let's say thank you for our lawyer, Sarah. It's been a very great show. We've learned a lot, and if you need any topic to be aired or to be discussed in our show, that is a Truth of Law, just text us or reach us in our social media handles, and we bring the topic and discuss it, and so that we can know what are some of the legal rights that you should have and you should go through in any area of life that you feel that you've not have or you've not had right judgments. And so thank you, and I was your host, Marion Richard. Till next time, same place, same time. God bless you.